Hello everybody and welcome back to Red Eagle Politics. Make sure you guys like this video down below and subscribe to the channel if you are new. So it's been a very eventful week for none other than Vice President J.D. Vance, who is really proving to be a very hands-on vice president, and it's really showing. He's showcasing his leadership ability. He's definitely putting his name out there, and he's going overseas. And in a room full of globalist European leaders, he basically told them all to their faces to go screw themselves. You know, we're going to be putting America first. And it really made the people on the left angry when he did this, and that's no surprise. But the main takeaway is he is very clearly running for president in 2028. And he's doing a very good job so far. Ever since he stepped foot in the political arena, or at least like the main sphere of the political arena in terms of national politics, when Donald Trump selected him to be a VP candidate, a lot of people had a lot of doubts. They were, asking questions because not a lot of people really knew who he was. And then he goes out there, he finds his stride, he does extraordinarily well, defending Trump on the campaign trail, dealing with the media, just going out there and eviscerating tampon Tim Walz on the debate stage in the final debate, presidential or vice presidential, of the 2024 election cycle. And despite having a lot of bad press from the media, he was the only member of either ticket, I believe, to end up with a net positive favorable rating in the exit polling that we saw. And he's being very hands-on. He has a very, very clear aspiration now to be Trump's successor, because that's partially why he was selected. And I kind of wanted to play this video because it kind of shows that our leadership is back. It's not just Trump. It's the people that Trump has assembled around him that have just been successful, that are just restoring confidence in so many people's eyes in this regime that has taken over, this administration, which is putting America first, unlike the old regime, which they're battling to get out of the government, which is why they're very angry at Elon Musk. They're very angry at Doge. But just listen to Vance in this clip here.
And expressing opinions isn't election interference. Even when people express views outside your own country, and even when those people are very influential. And trust me, I say this with all humor, if American democracy can survive 10 years of Greta Thunberg scolding, you guys can survive a few months of Elon Musk. But what no democracy, American, German, or European, will survive is telling millions of voters that their thoughts and concerns, their aspirations, their pleas for relief are invalid or unworthy of even being considered.
And he's so true. You talk about Europe, you talk about a lot of these countries, they don't have the First Amendment. They don't have free speech. And he also talked in the speech about mass immigration, basically saying you have a lot of people that have concerns about mass immigration that they have just censored. They've tried to bully into submission because they don't exactly have the same views that the current regime has in these places. And Vance is just telling these people that they're out of line, they need to chill out, and yet a lot of people on the left very angry. They're like, J.D. Vance wasn't sent to Munich to reassure our allies. He was sent to drop a diplomatic bomb in the middle of the room, flip over the table, and walk out, which is precisely what he did. Well, that's a good thing. In many people's eyes, it is, because you have a lot of these countries, they take advantage of us. You have weak leadership. They don't represent the interest of our country. They don't even represent the main interests or the best interests of the countries they represent in many cases. And Vance is somebody that's not afraid to go into these rooms with all these people and not be afraid to step outside of the pre-approved box of what is acceptable to say. And that's why people are losing their minds about it. And honestly, in a lot of people's eyes, they look at this on the right, and many people, even in the middle, they say, okay, we need this type of leadership. This guy's presidential material right here, and he's proving that on a day-to-day basis. Now, on the other hand, Donald Trump was asked about this in a clip here from his Super Bowl interview, and a lot of people tried to take this out of context and run with it to basically say, oh no, J.D. Vance isn't Trump's successor. But I kind of wanted to play this clip because you have so many people that are just running with it, taking it out of context, and kind of show how that, yeah, despite what so many people are claiming from this clip, it very well would make sense that Donald Trump indirectly is claiming that Vance is going to be set up to be his successor. But take a listen.
Do you view Vice President J.D. Vance as your successor, the Republican nominee in 2028?
No, but he's very capable. I mean, I don't think that I think you have a lot of very capable people. So far, I think he's doing a fantastic job. It's too early. We're just starting.
But by the time you get to the midterms, he's going to be looking for an endorsement.
Yeah, a lot of people have said that this has been the greatest opening, almost 3 weeks, in the history of the presidency.
It's definitely been the fastest and the most stuff
Well,
happening.
we've done so much so fast, and we really had to, because they have really, what they've done to our country is so sad. It's so sad. We're going to be bigger, better, and stronger than ever before.
Okay, so Trump basically is dancing around a potential 2028 endorsement, which is smart. I mean, you look at certain people like even George H.W. Bush in 1988, or you look at 2000 with Al Gore. Bill Clinton wasn't going out there 3 years before the election and endorsing Al Gore. Trump said he doesn't necessarily view Vance as successor. He's a part of the team. He's done a great job, but he's very capable. That's the type of answer that you would expect. But keep in mind, the reason why Donald Trump selected Vance was in part so he would have legacy. You would have somebody that more represents your vision of the party to be your successor, instead of picking somebody who is a little bit less proven or a lifelong, neoconservative Republican type of guy who will say nice things about you. That's what he had with Pence in 2016. But you look at where Pence is, he wouldn't even endorse Donald Trump's 2024 campaign, despite promising that he would if he became the nominee. By and large, because of the fact that Donald Trump is taking the party in the direction that he originally wanted to take the party in. And partially why he picked somebody like Vance is because he sees potential in Vance. He selected him. It was a pick a lot of people said would be high risk, high reward. Well, the risk factor wasn't really there. It was overblown. You have a high reward because you have a very good vice president, somebody who is very hands-on in the administration and is making the case every single day that he likely is going to be the successor. You have a lot of people that'll say, like, what about Don Jr. or somebody like that if Trump wants, like, his family name to stay, like, on the top of the ticket or whatever. And the thing is that Don Jr. is somebody that lobbied Donald Trump to pick Vance so Vance would be the successor. Maybe later down the line, Don Jr. will enter politics. Maybe he'll be a part of the Vance administration. Who really knows? But it's very evident that Don Jr. is not going to run in 2028, and it's very likely that J.D. Vance is and likely will get the nomination. And you look at this here. Here was the most recent poll, because you have a lot of polls, and that's why I bring up the Don Jr. thing. Like the polls with Vance in the 20s, they also throw Trump Jr. in there, and they'll have him at like 21 and Vance at like 27. But it's clear that when you consolidate the field to candidates who are likely going to run, Vance is the overwhelming favorite for the 2028 nomination. He's at 57%. Ron DeSantis, who already lost a lot of support on the national stage by his 2024 run, he's down there at 13%. He's 44% behind. And let me be clear, and we said this back in the day in regards to Ron DeSantis when Donald Trump was polling at 50% plus nationwide, that nobody that's ever polled that high has lost a primary. And Vance is already polling above 50% in numerous polls with 3 years to go in the Republican primary, and he wins people over day after day after day, especially with how he deals with the media and how he deals with the foreign leaders and how he's active. He's active in the administration. He's promoting Donald Trump's agenda as it stands, and he likely will earn more people's trust the more that he does it. And when you talk about the 2028 election, it's really going to come down to several factors if you're talking about the general. Now, the Democrats are divided because they don't have a leader. Republicans already are teeing up Vance for 2028. He's already kind of like that guy. And the electoral map isn't going to be as favorable to Republicans as the map is going to be come 2032, but it's still relatively favorable because they're only 2 states away from the presidency. They need to win 2 of North Carolina and Georgia and Pennsylvania. Obviously, they need Pennsylvania. They need one of the other 2 states. And you have somebody with Rust Belt ties like J.D. Vance. I don't think anybody else is going to do as good of a job getting out Trump's base compared to J.D. Vance because he's seen as like that successor. And if Trump's term goes well and Pennsylvania keeps moving right, he wins Pennsylvania, he wins North Carolina, it's over. I mean, it's very easy. Democrats in 2028 are going to have to really run the table in order to go out there and win the election. Doesn't mean they can't do it, but it's like you're probably not winning back Arizona when you're in this deficit of hundreds of thousands of registered Republicans compared to Democrats, even compared to 2020. And then you look at Nevada. Republicans have also surged. It's unlikely Nevada or Arizona are going to flip Democrat in 2028. So basically you have North Carolina, Georgia, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin. Consolidate your resources to those states, and then it's clear and evident that it's much easier for a Republican to win given the map than the Democrats. Obviously, if Trump's term doesn't go that well, things can change. But the main takeaway here is J.D. Vance, he's earning support from Republicans. He's already at like 60% of the electorate in some of these polls. The Democrats have no clear leader. Kamala Harris is still leading every single Democrat primary poll that's been conducted to date. She's in the 30s, she's in the 40s in some of these polls. Vance is already establishing himself as the clear leader. I don't think they'd let Kamala Harris get the nomination again, but who knows at this point, given how incompetent the Democrats have become. And that part is true, but we're talking about 2028. Vance is the front runner on the Republican side. He's also the front runner to win the whole thing, and that would be huge for Trump's legacy when that time comes. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. Like this video down below, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications so you never miss another video. Follow me on social media. The links are all in the description down below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Red Eagle out.